Here is one productivity hack that is going to change your life. Are you ready for it? Let's go. So, the one productivity hack that can actually change your life is not multitasking. Now, you must be wondering, why do I say that? I'm sure you would have kind of bragged about it, that you are a great multitasker, probably you would have put it in your resume, but ask yourself, is this something to flex about? Because in my experience, while yes, even I used to brag about being a multitasker, but when I actually started experimenting with the different ways in which I handle my tasks, I realized something. Multitasking, it affects your productivity and your effectiveness. That's the biggest problem. The second problem is it leads to burnout, it leads to a lot of stress, and thirdly, it reduces your creativity. Let's talk a bit about it affecting your productivity and effectiveness. So, typically, when you are multitasking, somehow you feel that you are going to focus on multiple tasks with the same productivity, with the same efficiency, but it does not happen. Your brain is somewhere stuck on the biggest task, and while you are trying to push it to do the smaller tasks as well, it's not able to. So, the cure for it is not to multitask. Instead, do one task at a time and give the deserving efforts that that task needs, right? Give the deserving efforts to each of those tasks. Why is it that we want to go ahead and try to equalize the distribution of energy to every task? Why can't we give 100% focus to every task and move much faster? Right. So the first problem with multitasking is that it affects your productivity, it affects your effectiveness. The next and a big one is it leads to a lot of burnout. So the solution for this is we as it is live in a world where we are stressed all the time. So the better, a good solution to this is moving towards monotasking, which is nothing but focusing on one task at a time and being well prepared with a small to-do list. What do I mean by this? You don't want to overwhelm yourself with 20, 30 tasks in your to-do list. You don't want to do that. It's just going to make you crazy. It's just going to increase the stress levels. Instead, what you want to do is create a small to-do list with top 3 priorities for the day. This is something that I do every night before sleeping. I make a list of top 3 things that I want to do by the next day. And those 3 tasks that I pick up, they are not equal in what do I say? They're not equal in intensity. One task is something which requires a lot of energy, which requires a lot of creativity, and the other two, compared to the first one, are relatively lighter, right? So that way, your brain is not getting overwhelmed. Now, let's talk a little bit about monotasking. Now, whenever we talk about multitasking or versus monotasking, I like to share this one example. Think of your computer processes. Okay, if you want to go ahead and run a single app on your computer, it's going to work smooth. It's going to be really efficient, right? Now, you may say that this is running one single app, but typically what is happening is two things over here. One, the decision to run the app, and second, the action of running the app. So your brain is as it is diverted into two things, making the decision of opening the app and then opening the app for you and you observing it. Now, the moment you go ahead and add more and more tasks, your brain gets confused as to which task to focus on. And whenever there's a task assigned, remember there's also a decision attached to the task and then there's an action taking place. So, as such, you need to just focus on one task because even that one task is related to making a decision plus going ahead and taking the action. All right, I hope this is making sense for you so far. Now, let's move to the last one, which is reduces creativity. Typically, when you are multitasking, you think that you can focus, but the problem is you can be far more creative when you're in a relaxed space, right? If you are constantly thinking of multiple tasks, what's going to happen? Your brain is never going to be relaxed, it's constantly running, and that affects your creativity. So my suggestion to you, this is something that I do, is always pick that one big task for the day which requires maximum creativity, crack that, and then you could go ahead and start working on the other tasks, one task at a time. Believe in the power of monotasking. That's the biggest productivity hack that I have for you. And whenever you decide to go ahead and do monotasking, another tip that I have for you is keep everything around you ready. So let's say, in order to be creative, you need your doodle book around. You need some sketch pens around. You need your earplugs. You need a good playlist. So keep all of that ready and then start the task. Otherwise, what's going to happen is, let's say you decide that, hey, I want to do the task right now, but then automatically your brain goes, where are my earplugs? Where is my doodle book? Where is the playlist? Right? So again, it's getting into thinking about multiple things and taking decisions which thing to do first. So always keep your desk ready with all the stuff that you need to complete that task and go ahead and do it. Now, another tip that I would probably like to add here, and I have been endorsing this all the while. If you're following me on LinkedIn, you know what I'm talking about. I believe in the power of the Pomodoro Technique. So, Pomodoro Technique is nothing but it's a very simple, beautiful technique that I have been using for years together, where 25 minutes you focus on a task, then you take a 5-minute short break, come back again, work for another 24 25, sorry, did I say hours? Let me go back. So 25 minutes you work on a task, next you take a 5-minute break, and then again you work for 25 minutes, and then you take a 15 minutes long break. With this, what happens is, your brain is not getting overwhelmed that it has to sit for an extremely long period of time. It knows it's getting its reward. We are in the age of instant gratification. We need our rewards, right? So your brain knows that 25 minutes, once I complete this task, I have a reward, which is a 5-minute break. And in that break, I can do whatever I want. Probably I can check my social media notifications. I can go ahead, grab something to eat. I can quickly make myself a cup of coffee and so on. Right? So again, to summarize, believe in the power of monotasking. That's the one productivity hack you need in order to grow in your career and in your personal life. This is your coach, Ria Punjabi, signing off.